Hello, YouTubers. Today we have a practical demonstration for you today. The security industry is now being disrupted by a next generation firewall that's really disrupting a lot of the OEM vendors called Palo Alto Networks. Today, one of the things that we want to demonstrate, and there's many capabilities within the platform itself, but the goal of this YouTube video is to demonstrate how to do TLS and SSL decryption, and this will give you visibility to the traffic that's traversing your security platforms today. A couple of things that we're going to do today when we get into this is we're going to create a certificate on the security platform itself. We're going to show you how we import this certificate into a Windows 10 environment, specifically the Internet Explorer. Then we're going to go into changing some of the decryption profiles, adding a decryption profile and creating a security rule. And then we'll wrap things up by demonstrating a block on a phishing attempt. All right. So step one, we're going to create the certificate by navigating to our device tab and selecting certificate. And then we'll generate a certificate. On this, you could name it anything you want, but here we'll name it Decrypt Cert. The common name that we're going to use right now for our certificate is going to be the IP address, which is going to be the interceptor of the traffic. So this is our sandbox environment. We're going to make it a certificate authority. And then for the certificate attributes down at the bottom, we're going to click on add, and then we'll do IP, and we'll add our IP here. 192.1. All right, and then we'll add a couple of extra things just to kind of give you an idea of what can go into a certificate attribute. We'll type US right here, navigate down to your US. Perfect, and state. All right, there we go. And you can add other things, but this is good to go right here. So we'll click generate. And there it is. You have a successfully generated decrypt certificate. Now we'll go into that certificate because there's a couple of attributes we want to enable in here. You want to make this a trusted root CA. And also you have the forward trust certificate. Forward trust certificate is basically letting you use this certificate for traffic that's going out of the firewall. And then you have the forward untrust certificate, which is for connections coming inbound. So if you're hosting a web server in the DMZ or something like that, and you want to terminate your TLS traffic at the security appliance, you can do it there as well. So we'll click OK here. After that, we'll come to the top right-hand corner where it says commit, and we'll commit this change real quick. It's kind of good practice to kind of commit a couple of things at a time as you go through, so then that way you don't have a lot of changes and that you have to undo or go back and try and figure out how to redo them. So right here we know we got a good decrypt certificate. So that's that. We'll wait till this says 100%. All right, successful. So now what we'll do here, we will now navigate to our Windows 10 environment. And this is our sandbox environment here. And we'll launch our Internet Explorer. We'll navigate to our security platform via HTTPS. There we go. Awesome. There we go. Logging in, and the reason we're logging in now is just basically to export the certificate from the platform, get it onto our Windows 10 system, and then import it into our trusted certificate store in our Internet Explorer. IE's running a little slow for us today. All right. While this is going, let us go back to the firewall. We'll wait for that to catch up. Here, our next step here is we're going to create a decryption profile. So we're to create a decryption profile, we'll navigate to our policies tab. And then along the left-hand side, as you can see, there is a, where is it at? Decryption. Select decryption and then go down to add. This is to be our add, and we'll name this our default decrypt. And we'll go to our source tab here, and we're going to add our zone. And the first zone will be the inside zone. That's the source zone. So this traffic sourcing from our trusted environment to our destination zone to our ISP here. Perfect. And now for our service, the service you want to add here in the add tab is going to be your HTTPS service. And then, as you can see, there's a URL category box next to it. You can go in and add specific categories, or you can negate specific categories, as you can see in there. But for this demonstration, we'll go ahead and do any category, and we'll go to options, and we'll select the action for decrypt. And this is going to be the SSL forwarding proxy. The decryption profile we're going to use is going to be the default. And we'll select OK here. All right. And then we'll commit this change. And then we'll navigate to our Windows 10 system, see if it caught up with us yet. Perfect. All right. So now we'll go to our device tab here to export the certificate, and then go to your certificate. Now we'll go down to where it says, we'll select the certificate and export. So all we really need is, as you can see, the file format is the PEM format. So we'll select, make sure that's selected and click OK. Save this to your local. Completed. All right. So now what we'll do in our Internet Explorer, we'll navigate to our Internet options, content, certificates, and then we'll import here. Browse to where the PEM file is located, which is usually your downloads folder. As you can see, cert, decrypt cert, and then we'll open that guy up. 6 next, and then in your browse, we want to put this in our trusted root certificate authorities. Next, default action here, and it's going to ask you if you sure you want to do this, and say yes. And the import was successful into Internet Explorer. So now we'll close this, and we can now log out of our firewall here. Close this. Perfect. So now we're gonna go over to back to our firewall and create a security rule to capture this HTTPS traffic. So go to your security policies, and we're going to create a rule here. Now, the unique thing about what we're learning about the Palo Alto security platform is that you can click add and create a new rule down on the bottom left hand, or you can highlight one of the rules and then click clone. And so we'll clone this here. We're cloning the any rule, and we'll click select your rule order. So we want to put it before right here, and then click OK. And we could rename this. Now we can go in and change this up a little bit. So we'll rename this rule here to we can name this any decrypt. And the source zone is going to stay the same. Your destination zone, which should be your ISP, will be the same. Application we'll leave as any application, but the services now, where the services tab is, we'll actually click add here and select your HTTPS. So any HTTPS service traversing this platform, we are going to decrypt. And if you go to your actions tab, as we're demonstrating here, we're allowing the traffic. We have a security profile that we can talk about a little bit later, but is actually doing some of our threat analysis on the traffic that's being decrypted. and we'll demonstrate the block action here. So we'll click OK here, and let's take a look and commit. So we've committed these changes, and we have a piece of test a test phishing file that we're going to demonstrate this on. All right, so now we're going to go to our Windows 10 system here, and we'll demonstrate the file blocking capability of the Palo Alto Networks firewall by deploying and navigating to a known phishing site now. So we're going to open up this file here. As you can see, this file here is a phishing attempt that was sent in, and we're going to execute the phishing attempt. More information. We're going to continue to go. And as we can see here, we see the category. So the block page that we're seeing right now is the default block page for the Palo Alto Networks security device. And the category is phishing, and it's showing you the host that this phishing attempt was also originated from. And you can see from here it's saying block page. Additionally, we're going to go back to the Palo Alto firewall into our monitor tab, and we'll go to the unified logs. The unified logs basically gives us the logs for your traffic, your threat, URL filtering, any wildfire submissions. And as you can see, we have a column, our second to the last column, that says decrypted, and it's showing that our HTTP traffic was decrypted here. And we're going to navigate down to our URL that was blocked here. As you can see, it was blocked, the action was blocked, and it was a URL. And as we open it up, we see that it was decrypted. It classified it as a category phishing attempt. And there's the URL that we blocked right there. So that's a quick how-to on how to deploy TLS SSL decryption on the Palo Alto Networks firewall. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please subscribe down below to our YouTube channels, and we got some more coming for you. Thank you.